My name is Angela Waweru. I'm one of the founding partners or members for two organizations, Sister Speaks Global and Heals for Pads Foundation. Both were founded in 2019. Sister Speaks was founded April 2019, and then Heals for Pads, the Siamese twin, was founded in May 2019.
Okay.
Yeah. So before Heals for Pads became Heals for Pads, Sister Speaks is the older sister, so to speak. So Sister Speaks Global, just to give you a brief, is an organization that focuses on creating events for women. And we also use the digital space where we enhance stories of women. We have a podcast that we do with Capital FM. We also use our digital media to amplify and raise awareness of the challenges women and even girls face globally. So through doing that, we wanted to give back. And one connecting factor across the globe and across all women is periods. So we founded then this idea. We wanted to give back, and we wanted to give menstrual health products to ensure girls and women in marginalized communities gain access. So one of my founding members had some heels that she wanted to get rid of, and she asked myself and the other co-founder, Angela, if we had heels that we wanted to get rid of. But instead of just giving them away, we ask if we can get pads. And so that is how Heals for Pads was founded. So people would give us heels, and we would sell them in markets or sell them through our Instagram shop, and get pads, an minimum equivalent of a year supply. So each heel, the price may vary depending on the quality of the heel. Sometimes we also receive new ones. And so then over time, initially in 2019, we just had a plan to support, three organizations. One was a school, one was a home, and one is an orphan and a school. But we received so many heels because women love keeping shoes. And of course, like in this country, there are no charity shops. So there's no homes to, you can't just give heels to a home. So you kind of end up keeping these heels. So then we started selling the heels. And then we supported the three organizations, but we received so much. And then when COVID happened, of course, we couldn't continue with our events. We were still doing digital events and webinars and stuff, but the need arose more when it came to menstrual health challenges. And so then it became quite clear, can't fix everything, but we can try and fix one and solve one thing. So our goal has been to keep the girl in school and ensure that she doesn't miss school because of lack of access to menstrual health products. So every area so just to give you a little bit more background, when we initially started, it was just about going to drives, finding homes, finding schools, going to different counties, just to understand what the challenges are. So of course, a girl in northeastern Kenya and a girl in the city, their challenges, poverty is they're poor, but their level of poverty might be different according to their environment. And then adding on to that, you have cultural factors, and maybe even religion can play a part. So then you might find that conversations around menstrual health are not something, a taboo, right? You don't talk about it, or you're not taught about it. So over time, you start to learn, okay, in this environment, how you approach it, even what you teach about the different menstrual products is different to maybe how someone in the city, because the level of exposure is different. And then, of course, language barrier. Some people, even though they speak Swahili, they might find it easier to talk in their language. So working with the community leaders to help them, if that makes sense. When we first started, we just wanted to support three organizations. And I think collectively, they were not more than, they weren't more than like 150 or 200 people. And then as COVID, we ended up supporting a lot more, and we got a lot of support. So from our initial target of just fundraising to get, what did we only had, we had 15 hills between us, the three of us. And so our goal was to get pads that cover those 15 hills. And now, as we speak, in 2024, we have now supported, the last count we did was over 24,000 beneficiaries, 3/4 of them being girls. We have been able to also support persons with disabilities, teen mums, of course, teenagers from as young as the age of 9. We have gone to 19 counties and counting. And then in 2021, as I said, our focus was to keep the girl in school. So we partnered with Ari Power Dispenser, Interco. They do the dispensers where they have an NFC-enabled card, which allows a girl the opportunity to access the pads through tech innovation. So it's like an ATM. Every time they swipe, they get a piece of pad. And this allows us to also monitor whether they're using it as a resource or as an emergency. And therefore, then that means that our menstrual health education needs to be upped a little bit more. And that goes back to your earlier question around cultural and conversations around menstrual health. So it also allows us to understand in terms of shameful issues. If it's a mixed school, how do we also talk to the boys? Because puberty is different, yes, for the boy and girl, but it needs to be discussed on the same level. So we currently have 2 schools that have a pad dispenser project, and we're activating 4 more schools this year, courtesy of Amayali alumni. So I've received a grant from Yali, which is supported by Kenyatta University and USAID. And we're also getting support from Maz's charity, which will allow us to support another extra school. So we're excited to expand. We're going to our schools that we have. One is in a special school in Nairobi. One is a typical school in Kiambu County. We're going to expand to Kajiado, Murang'a. We're also we've never done an informal settlement school, so we're going to do one in Kibera this year, and also expand to Nyandarua. So we're excited to grow, and the things that we do with our events allows us to also continue amplifying that story. And as we know, with what is happening, the conversation of menstrual health products is something that we need to continue pushing. And so our movement continues to be "Don't tax my pad," you know, because as when we first started, we used to sell heels at 600 Kenya shillings, which equaled a year's supply. Now we have to sell them at 850 because the prices are going high. But unfortunately, period is not something you can switch off. And so our mission is to also use our work to continue raising awareness, and also just using it as teaching other organizations that want to come and support, or investors who want to come and support but don't know how to. And we wish to be one of the organizations that are point of call that they can come to, and we can say, if you go to Marsabit, this is what you're going to entail. Maybe menstrual cup might not work as well, purely because of, you know, traditional challenges. Perhaps consider these other options. So things like that helps us align. That's why that's why we're expanding to different counties, because then it allows us to understand the different challenges and how best for us to support the girls through our organizations, and maybe through our work we can help other people do the same. So in terms of Sister Speaks, our next plan is we are entrepreneurs as women. So this is an organization founded by women, with a focus for women, and with the focus of enhancing, empowering, enriching, creating spaces where there's knowledge share, there is mentoring. So we want to start a business program for women entrepreneurs outside of the city, and maybe even work with successful women entrepreneurs in Nairobi who are willing to mentor, and we want to get these women investment ready. So that's a future goal for Sister Speaks, is to also be a platform where for the investors that are wanting to come to Africa to support women businesses but don't know where to begin. We want to create a platform where we are finding businesses that are suitable and ready for investment, and also trying our best to get them investment, or at least get the advice where they can get investment, or at least even get a loan. And identifying what are the challenges. Is it connectivity? Is it that they don't know that these programs exist? Is it capacity building? So that's the plan for Sister Speaks, to expand, and we're doing a lot more events as well. We do regular events, monthly events called Hills Connect, which are focused on creating networking opportunities, but also bringing speakers. So, for instance, in the month of July, we have AI Awareness Day on July 16th. So we're going to focus it on tech. And we've got, amazing speakers from people who work for Microsoft, people who work for PLP Africa, where they can learn. And then we're getting tech experts who can do mentorship as well, speed mentorship, and learn. And so attendees get to know where the future is going when it comes to tech, and also learn and connect with other people. So that's the space for Sister Speaks. In terms of Heels for Pads, our goal, we timed 5 years. And our goal is in the next 5 years to support a minimum of 50,000 girls through the Pad Dispenser project. And in addition to that, we, like I said, we sell the heels. So through selling the heels, we have an active Instagram shop called H4P Exchange, where someone can find a heel and then buy. But through that process, we are connected to single women and also teen moms and vulnerable women, so to speak, that have the skills or have the time to do something but don't have opportunities. So we want to train them in terms of learning tech and learning how to create a digital shop, or the behind the scenes of before the heel is on the shop, like stock taking, learning about brand awareness, even photography. So we want to build their skills to the point where we can hire some of them, and even if they want to start their own business, and maybe if it's a heel business, we can support them. So that's the future that we have, is to expand and grow our charity shop, and also support 50,000 girls minimum within the next 5 years. In terms of challenges, well, we're just recovering from COVID. And then recently, as we know, we're going through a political unrest. So that's also affecting a lot of economic plans and future plans, inflation. So with Sister Speaks, of course, with the events, it's always 50-50. But life keeps evolving and keeps moving forward. So the challenges we face as a business or even as an organization is at times women can find it hard to find investment and fundraise for these projects, because it's always about the risk rather than for us about the opportunities. So fundraising is always a challenge. Identifying the right investors is always also a challenge. I think the social atmosphere currently makes it very confusing as to how to move forward, because we've had natural disasters with the floods, which have affected schools. But in saying that, challenges will always come, but you have to find a way to jump through the hurdle. So you morph and navigate. Work with other organizations is always something that we try to do, because you can't do everything now. So we believe in power of collaboration. We believe in telling our story, so we can help a lot more people, or even gather a lot more interest in what we do. So with Sister Speaks, it's been on and off, because our events are, we hire people during the moments of the events, but we've had a lot of volunteers who've walked this journey with us. I would say we have had between 20 to 50 volunteers who have supported in whatever capacity. And our goal is to expand and increase that. And also through our volunteer pool, is to capacity build those in the volunteer pool. So we currently have some interns that we work with specifically with our events and even the charity shop. And then now with the schools, when we're working with the schools, is developing like people we can train to do the curriculum. So as we expand the schools, we are trying to identify people who can come in from, they're interested in training, especially like with the menstrual health curriculum, because we've developed our own menstrual health curriculum for the schools. So those are things that we are working towards. As we expand, we also work towards expanding. So we don't have permanent stuff. We have maybe casual stuff. So whenever we need them, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's to say that I'm really honored to be selected as one of the finalists for this top 40 under 40. I've grown up. I was born in Kenya, but I was raised in UK. And I never really knew that one day, almost, because this will be my 9th year of living here full time, that I would be sitting here being interviewed as a top 40 under 40. And I followed what was in my heart. So to anyone who's listening, that we're all planted with a seed inside us. Allow it to germinate, because you really never know where life will take you. Trust it. Trust the process. Even when it's hard, keep going. And I think today is a reminder that the words that I live by, which is I aspire to inspire before I expire, really come into pass. So I think I'd like to end it that way.